Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's Great NASCAR Adventure!
Thank you, as always, Marshall. I'm Ben, and this... Keith! That's right.
What's up?
We upscaled all in here. Actually, Doug, ironically enough, I created tonight's stream, and then as I was just creating a thumbnail for it, I got a text. Hey, can't do tonight's show. I'm like, wish you texted me 3 minutes ago. And I went, okay. And apparently, Doug's son Grayson had a knee injury during a basketball game, so he's currently at the hospital. So Doug's taking care of that. So hopefully, no MCL, no PCL. Let's just hope it's a sprain. So
yeah,
because he's an athlete, and you can't take a year off of sports through your teenage years because nobody's going to be scouting you after that type thing.
Yeah.
So well wishes to Grayson. Which he doesn't even spell it like you would think it's spelled. It's literally racing with the G taken off the end to put on the front. I'm just saying. We got Terry's 3 Gs in the chat. What's up?
Good, Terry.
And so we're here off season. Welcome to 2023. And I don't know, not much is happening other than further layoffs at Fox Sports racing side of things. I don't know about the other side of Fox Sports because you can't just do Fox Sports because that's big. But really, Fox Sports racing, it's really one little building outside of Concord. I've driven by it. It's the old speed building. They just rebranded it. Basically. What's up, Mark? Good to see you.
What's going on, Mark?
So, not a whole lot in the news, but that's okay. Secrets, testing, no. Possibly. Probably virtual testing. They got the computers running 24/7 in the shop.
Yeah.
Every computer is running a simulation of somewhere, someplace, sometime. The lights dim in Mooresville at 9 a.m. when everyone flicks on the switches.
Don't you miss the old days of the shaker posts?
Right? I wonder if there's any of those still in the shop.
Yeah, good question.
Because that's sort of that hybrid, like we see it on the guitar side of things, a hybrid between, it's not the full-on virtual helix system, which would be like today's Sims, but it's kind of that analog multi-effects, like, it was the kind of, it was computer run, but still physical on the car itself.
Yeah.
You bolted the cars down and...
Yeah. I mean, first they had the 5-point, then the 7-point, then the 10-point.
Yep. Exactly, and then they had basically the 3D modeler with the robotic arm that you could point out all the points, which is basically a 3D modeling now, same idea, but they were doing that ages ago for ride heights and stuff. I was like,
right,
what the rulers are for? And they're like, no, we just get in there and all right. Seems expensive. Seems like a waste of money. I'm just saying, but
take ride heights and toss them out the window now.
Yeah, well, but you had to drive like Bobby the Bonnie's, like you're running a 300 shock in the front.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what. I don't care. I don't care what the computers say.
Yep.
And I ride by the seat of my pants, the feeling in the hands.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
All the good ones did it that way, though.
Yep.
All the great.
And they're also the ones that knew how to build those cars because they came up through racing, which is good. Because I could just imagine as a crew chief, like it's got to be so much easier, Keith. Like if I'm talking to you and you're like, yeah, we're going to need just the thinnest shim in that shock, and it's going to be perfect for that ride height. And you're like, okay. Whereas the other guy say, well, it's feeling kind of dippy. It's not quite settled. Well, what? Huh?
Great descriptions. Yeah. Good work,
Terry. Let's be honest. During every green flag lap, how's the car feeling? I don't know. Slow. That doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, well, it's loose getting in, and then it tightens up throughout the corner, and then I find that I'm tight coming out. Okay, we can work on that.
Mm-hmm. If you're descriptive enough, you can work on anything. But
yeah, I do like the shift that more and more spotters are ex drivers. I like that.
Yeah,
Considering
because they
spotters are now,
actually-
let's be honest, spotters are driver coaches now.
Mhm.
Whereas it used to be, as you know, spotters always looked half a lap ahead. They were your second set of eyes. Hey, because the brakes weren't that great, so you needed that heads up. Or, hey, the curtain's out. Stuff like that.
Brake
Now-
packages were totally different back then.
Yep. Yeah, much more closer to stock vehicles.
Yeah.
Just slightly bigger. You know, it's like, we're driving a Monte Carlo body, but it's more or less got like Corvette front brakes on it. Okay. So it's 4-piston instead of 2 on the front. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's still steel brakes and robustus brake pads and yeah, the good old days. You take off a rim and just all the brake dust. The poor guy, you're like, that's asbestos. Those crew members. Like, where's that class action lawsuit? I wonder, Keith, if you go and watch TV late night, if you watch late night TV in the Mooresville area, are there lawyers on there? Were you exposed to asbestos brakes during 80s NASCAR pit stops? If so, please contact.
But you could always tell who they were because they always had the black nose.
Yeah. And they're like, does it matter? Winston was giving us 3 cartons of cigarettes a day for free anyways.
You're right. Oh, God, I remember. I miss those days. You'd walk into a freaking race and you get a carton of cigarettes automatically handed to you.
Yep.
By Winston. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I still remember I was at Daytona for Bike Week one year in the bike races, and I ran out of cigarettes. So I'm like, well, it's a Winston Cup track. Surely they sell smokes, you know, because you don't know. Like in Canada, they don't sell cigarettes at the track, you know. And I go and I walk up, I'm like, do you sell cigarettes? I'm like, look at me like I got 3 heads. Yeah. And because I smoke a very light cigarette in Canada, and I know American cigarettes are harsher, I was like, do you have any Winston Ultralights? They're like, let me check in the back. I think we keep some around for the women. Like, whatever, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Good time.
Those days were freaking hysterical. The first time I took my girlfriend, she freaked. She was like, oh, my God, they're giving out free cigarettes. All I have to do is fill out a little index card. I'm like, yep. Show your ID, fill out a card, poof, you get a free carton of cigarettes.
Yeah, for me, it was they said they would trade you your cigarette. Whatever cigarettes you had with you, they'd trade you for a carton.
Yeah.
And karma is real, Keith, because I had 2 smokes left in my pack and didn't have any smokes or money, basically. So I was going to have to bum smokes off my buddy, hopefully, you know, depending on how many he had. And I'm like, wait, you'll trade me whatever is left in my pack for a carton? Like, yeah. And there were the new, what were they? Winston Ultras, I think, or something. Like, they were new. Jimmy Spencer had a paint scheme. I thought it was the same year as the Tabasco fiasco, so like 97, 98. Whatever. It's some new Winston Select. That's what it was. The Winston Select.
Oh, the Selects. Yeah, the Selects.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't care. Because, you know what? Even a crappy cigarette's better than no cigarette. That's the way I saw it. So I open up the pack. I got 2 cigarettes left. I take one of the 2 out, put behind my ear, give them the pack with a single cigarette in it. Like, there you go. Free trade. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, those Winston girls.
Good times. How's everyone doing out there? We got 2 people watching. Great. That's 4 sets of eyes. No, that's 4 eyes, not 4 sets of eyes. Unless we count our own 4 sets of eyes. Sure. We're looking. We're watching too. We're paying attention. Honest.
Depending on if I need these.
The nice thing is, since Doug's not here, if we go off on tangents, Keith, he can't do anything about it.
He's got bigger fish to fry right now. So hope everything's good with Grayson.
Yeah, I told him, you know, feel free to troll us from the chat if you wanted to.
Yeah. So, but let's at least try to keep it professional because I did make a work list.
Oh yeah.
Vince
Vince Welch let go from Fox Sports. I like Vince. You know, because Vince was kind of those jack of all trades. He would commentate some races, you know, as the play-by-play, and then he did the truck races as well. Yeah. You know, and so, and I'd met him a couple of times, or at least said hello, because I didn't really, you know, they're usually busy, and the way I like meeting the media. To me was just as important as because drivers come and go, and stuff, but those guys are around for decades, like
Right.
I really I never got a chance to meet Dick Berggren. I always wanted to meet Dick Berggren,
Oh man, yeah.
or Chris Conamaki, someone like that. The icons of the sport. I was lucky that attending races at Charlotte Motor Speedway, their in-house track announcer, fun fact, Ken Squire. I'm like, listen to the loudspeaker. I'm like, I know that velvet voice. I'm like, This is awesome. Then the first time you get a scanner, the nice thing is the scanner, if your team isn't active, it'll default to the in-track calling of the race. So I'm listening to Ken Squire call the race, and then every once in a while, my team would cut in and talk, and then back to Ken Squire. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, this is better than a TV broadcast. As much as I love DW, kind of got on my nerves after a few years.
Oh yeah. It was an honor to meet him. Really, really nice guy, really down to earth. Met him a couple of times actually.
Almost.
And but him, Mike Joy, they were so cool. Larry Mack, I met them. But that whole crew.
I missed out on most of those guys. There was one episode of Trackside, Keith, that if you watched Trackside back in the day, you may have seen me in the background on one of them.
I used to go there.
They always have with their backs to the crowd, and it was like DW, David Inman or Dale Inman, and somebody else was on Trackside, and Danny Coker was on from Counting Cars because the History 300 that weekend. So there's always a history person there. And so I was talking to Danny side stage. And, I'll tell you, he's the same off camera as he is on. He's the exact same guy. Really nice guy. And then I was talking, myself or Doug was talking with one of the segment producers, and they were, they were trying to arrange for me to meet DW. After he did a segment, as he was going to go over to his golf cart, and then just a quick hello, whatever. I'm like, awesome, I wouldn't expect anything more than that, thanks. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, people kind of caught wind of it, and then all of a sudden, there's 12 people standing around me, and then they're just like, nope, okay, I'm like, because I'm telling them, I'm like, we fuck off. They're like, no, something's going to happen here. I'm like, yes, go, Chase Elliott fans probably.
Mm-hmm. I had that situation one time when I literally walked into Brad Doherty. So imagine a little 5'3" walking into 6'7" Brad Doherty. He's like, "Oh, sorry, man. How you doing?"
I had a similar experience with Jeffrey Earnhardt. I had a similar experience with Jeffrey Earnhardt, except Jeffrey was you and I was Brad, because he headbutted me right in the shoulder. It was funny because I'm walking this way, and he's coming straight from the side. And it was one of those, he was looking this way, I was looking out, we didn't see each other. Mm-hmm. Boom! Knocked all of his merch out of his hands because he had just come from an autograph session. And of course, Jeffrey Earnhardt, not being like his uncle.
Grandpa.
I'm like, how did that family work? Right, Uncle, Dale. Yeah. Jeffrey wasn't being driven around on a golf cart. Jeffrey was carrying his own hero cards back, from the leftover ones from wherever he was doing a signing on his own, probably to put in the hauler to take out next week. God. Yeah. And super nice guy. He was so apologetic. I'm like, no, dude, you have the right of way. The way is, you're supposed to be here more than I'm supposed to be here. Therefore, you have the right of way. As far as
you're not supposed to be carrying that. Your PR person's supposed to be carrying that. Oh, wait. He didn't have one, did he?
Yeah. Even if your PR person is your mom.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time it was, or a relative. Or girlfriend.
Those are some unsung heroes. There's a lot of wives and girlfriends that put up with a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that my entire life. I heard that from when my uncle raced, because even worse was because they were all motorcycle racers. And I used to hear, because every race weekend, chances are, because you drop the bike at least once, or a career of dropping bikes throughout races, they're always moaning and groaning, apparently every night in bed. I'm like, which I get now because I'm pretty damn sore every day myself. But it's like they were like, and I was like, yeah, they put up with a lot. Camping out because nobody stayed in hotels. It was so still grassroots back then. So it was, you had it. I think my uncle was one of the first people to have a trailer, because otherwise you had a full size van that you had 1 or 2 bikes in. And it was so low key. You could leave your race bike out under the canopy overnight and sleep in the van, and nobody messed with your bike.
Yeah.
It's great. What's up, Symmetry and Hip?
What's going on, boys?
Yeah. Good to see y'all.
Look at that, getting a nice crowd.
Yeah.
Well, a good sized crowd.
And we got 5 people watching. That's pretty average these days for us.
A good sized crowd, not a nice crowd.
The best kept secret in the world of NASCAR, although I swear they do listen, the amount of time stuff's changed after we've ranted about it on here. Like, oh, there's going to be no penalty on this guy. And I go, that guy should have a penalty. They're like, well, we changed our mind. I was like, really? Because you didn't before I went to air, and now all of a sudden you changed your mind.
Well, that's why the rule book's written in pencil.
Yeah, sort of like when I talked about a certain building at a certain race team's campus, our video got literally blocked in several countries. That's weird. That was weird because I didn't show anything. Other times I've shown stuff and got blocked on stuff because they're like, you're just showing parts of the race, even if you're showing it on your phone. And I was like, well, I am, but shh, we're trying here, folks. But that's I literally just talking about something, and they're like, this portion of the broadcast, and I looked at them, really?
It wouldn't happen to be a section of track right around turn 3 and 4, would it?
I can't say the race shop is basically across the road from the speedway with a trailer park in between.
Okay, so don't say that then.
Yeah. Who used to have a lot of undeveloped land around said campus that's now miraculously all car dealerships with the same name. That may or may not match the name of the race team.
And have a big letter on the side of all of the B posts. Right?
Yep.
But
I'm not saying that, Doug.
We're not saying that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is any other race team, Keith, you can pick out management right away because they all have the same look. The black slacks, possibly pleated, and a white dress shirt or short sleeve with some form of small corporate logo right there. Right?
Yeah. Well, instead of the Stewart Hospital, yeah.
Yeah. The blue-collar guy, non-management, they're all dressed in some form that's a tribute to the driver, some clone of the driver. But then all of a sudden, nope, black pants, white shirt with collar, little logo. However, at this other team, it turns into a fleece sweater vest.
Oh, geez,
I'm just saying.
The sweater vests.
Yeah, the fleece vest. It's like, oh, apparently you get handed one of those when you reach upper management at that team. No thanks.
So where were we? Oh, what do you think of the reasons why they got rid of Vince Welch? I mean, what's he got? Like 20 years in the pits minimum? Maybe 30?
Likely, no, money. Like anything else, because even not unionized or not, over time, you're going to get little raises here and there, right? And eventually it's going to get to the point where even if it's like they're paying him $50,000 and they can get someone else to do it for 40, or does, what's her name now do truck races as well as ARCA?
Jamie?
Jamie
Little?
Jamie Little.
Well, here's the thing, though, because...
or Vince got tired of correcting Mikey, yes.
Vince and Mikey would, 90% of the time, they were doing it from the studio. They weren't doing it at the track.
That's right.
So they were sitting there watching them from a monitor. So, right. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a couple times they tried to green screen to make it look like they were in the booth, but then I think Mikey hit it, and then I was like, why is the window in the track waving now? That doesn't make sense.
But, yeah, Probably all about the Quan.
Trev just figured something out. Yeah. Well, fun fact, since we got 5 people on, I didn't want to move all my stuff over to the other set because I'd have to move it all back here for tomorrow night when Pete Thornton's on.
Oh, is he coming back now?
Tomorrow night. Yeah. After his apology in the middle of the night, I got a text at 1:30 this morning. I'm so sorry. He's like, I effed up so bad. And I'm like,
did he just totally brain fart or what?
Total brain fart, because he was in a deep, like I had called on the show, he was down a deep rabbit hole doing a demo, and then he got home and realized, oh snap, and then he put out a short, which I didn't even know about till I got on here this morning, and he put out a short, like, I'm so sorry Ben was the title of the short.
The Homer goes dope.
Which I was like, wow, a public apology that's pretty large. So
yeah,
because I woke up, I'm like, how do I have a bunch more subscribers and views? Like, I know we were good last night, but we're not that good.
That was a good show though last night. That was real fun.
Yeah. Where in the world is Peter Thorne?
Is that what you renamed
the thread that moved throughout the show? Is he here yet? And for those tuning in late, you did not miss him.
Yes, you missed
Lifestyle
15
choices.
minutes in. Where were you?
Yeah. So, yeah, other than that, Kyle Busch, they announced MGM Bet as a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice black.
I think you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot of those sponsors. They're the new crypto. They're the new, every time there's a fad, NASCAR is huge on the fad sponsors, right? Because the fad sponsors are looking to get their money out there wherever they can in short order. And most established things have multi-year contracts, whereas NASCAR is really year to year. It used to be all the long-distance phone companies were all over. Okay? Dial these 14,000 digits and then the phone number to save 1 cent.
Before Sprint took over.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
all those fun things.
They've been on a few paint schemes before. Past few years actually, if you look back. So it's nothing new, but they are going to be one of the main primary sponsors for them, which is huge for them. And it is a sharp looking paint scheme too. Nice golden black. So it'll be fitting for him with the black hat that he wears a lot.
Yeah, and it'll tie in with that other. What was it? The 3Chi, whatever.
Yeah,
the 3Chi company, because they have a similar paint scheme. Like, you're going to see a lot of black number 8, which is fine. Consistency. Just my personal pet peeve is when let's use the same sponsor on multiple cars on a team. Okay, fine. If you want to have the shell car on all 3 Penske cars throughout the season. Fine, but do alternate paint schemes. Don't do the identical paint scheme.
Right.
I'm looking at you, Bass Pro Shops. I don't know how Doug follows his driver week to week. He's got a different color every week, and half the time his car looks like somebody else's car in the field. So I'm like, I don't know. And same as Penske's with their yellow and white, and you're like, is that the 12 or the 2? I can't tell.
Yeah. The 2, the 22, or the 12. Either one of them,
Yeah, that's like when they do Penske with or you're doing a throwback with Discount Tire. You've had the same paint scheme for 10 years. How is that a throwback? That's laziness.
Didn't Joey do a throwback to himself once upon a time as well?
Well, I remember he did one this year, but that was back to like his Legends car or something. I get that. That's okay because it tied in with kind of a charity thing, but
okay. Very little lenience on that one then.
Yeah, it was tied in with the charity. So, although the charity was his charity, but I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, but speaking of Joey, he got himself a nice new sponsor as well, and a new lid. Hair Club for Men. He's sponsored by Hair Club for Men now, and they gave him new plugs.
Yeah, Doug sent me the link on the first day. He's like, most people may not know, but I've been suffering from hair loss for some time. I'm like, oh, we know, Joey. We know, because you don't even wear a hat.
You were 16.
Yeah, you've been doing the Kevin Harvick swirl around for a while now. Come on.
Yeah.
Still doesn't look. I'm waiting for him to all of a sudden age 10 years like Keselowski somehow did. Because about 4 years ago, Keselowski went from a young-looking guy to all of a sudden he looked like he drove from Michigan to Florida in a station wagon with 6 kids in the back. He just looked haggard.
And the hair out there.
Yeah, he put on 30 pounds, lost some hair, and whoa. Like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever he had left looked like a cat's eyebrow on his head.
Yeah. And what was announced that Kevin Harvick is done after this year, sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Which, shocker. He's been, really, actually, I saw some stuff on him. He's been spending time over in Europe in the off-season. His son, Keelan's been running go-karts over in Europe to get, as much competition, different forms. So, go for it.
Yeah,
it's not like he just showed up with all the top equipment. He's like, I think, partnering up with teams and stuff, which, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw a picture posted of Keelan sitting inside an F1 car over there. I'm like, okay, that's curiously interesting.
Well, and the thing is, let's be honest, like, okay, it's one thing to be the NASCAR dad and, you're helping your kid, whatever. Well,
right.
There's so many rich kids that's half the damn field now is rich kids, but their dads aren't racers or whatever. And one thing, but also Kevin, KHI, when they stopped racing, that transformed into basically a sports agency. So wouldn't it look good if, one of your first clients is essentially your kid, like you got to show, like, who are you promoting, Kevin, type thing as a resume builder as much as anything else. Like, here, look, I took my kid from nothing all the way up through the ranks, which I've maintained those contacts throughout all the ranks, which helps. So it's not only, say, I don't know, Bubba Wallace wants to change representation, and he goes with Kevin Harvick, as opposed to Bubba Wallace has a kid, takes the kid to Kevin Harvick, just, like, here, let's do it from, ground up.
All right.
So I think Kyle Busch is essentially doing that just a few years behind.
Right.
Well,
and that's not to say, those kids aren't doing bad either. I mean, Kevin had Keelan out there racing in the rain, doing road course races and shit. And, just like running hot laps in the rain. So he's learning right. He's learning correctly.
Yep, so he's putting in the time. And that's the thing, because Kevin didn't come through him a whole lot. So,
no.
So, put in the work ethic, which is good.
Yeah.
Not, learn how to work on the vehicles again, like we were talking off air and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Learn that side of it. Yeah. Don't just show up with your helmet. That's like the lead singer of the band that just shows up with their microphone. Okay, I'm ready to perform. No. You help load in the PA.
Well, Ace really was never a big loader.
No, but he even before he was famous, he'd pay his friends to load it. He had his own road crew before he was famous. So I used to do the same thing. I paid bandmates and pints to carry my gear. What's up, Charles?
What's going on, bud? Let's see. What else we got on the list here? We talked about the Clash. That's coming up in a few weeks. So
right.
They're going to be up. They've jacked it up to from 23 to 27 cars now who are eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Which
doesn't mean much because they do heat races because they can't even fit 27 cars on the track at once. So
exactly. So
there'll be like an extra car or two in each of the two
heat race. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. I mean,
watch them battle it out.
Yeah. Having it at the Coliseum is just, I'm sorry, not my cup of tea.
That's also right. That was the other piece of news. Keith mentioned that before the show, but Ken Block passed away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a co-founder of DC Shoes, one of the original OG hooligans, and he was basically the Evel Knievel on four wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And his passing is. I just was scrolling through NasCar.com on all the condolences, and any driver who was anybody, was just shocked about it. So
sure.
and How you put it, natural causes.
Yep.
For him,
Snowmobile
it
accident.
was
That's natural causes.
snowmobiling. Yeah.
Yep. That's just him being him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just like Hooper, the life of a stuntman.
Exactly.
Anything you could imagine back in the 90s, he was doing it. 90s and early 2000s.
Hmm.
He was a madman. So
exactly.
Rest in peace, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And prayers for the family.
Yeah.
And age 55. 2 years younger than me. Yikes. But like you said, he lived his lifestyle the way he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is true.
Yeah.
What is that?
We forgot one other thing.
Oh?
Yeah, the Tournament of Roses parade.
Oh, yes. That's right.
NASCAR had their float in there this year, and they actually won a trophy for it. Go figure, It was about excellence in tradition and something of the matter, But they had a really nice float out there. They had a 43 car all done up in the colors. No sponsors on any of the cars. They had a 3 car also. And then, curiously, not the other 7-timer. They had the 24 car in the DuPont colors, though. And then they had...
rainbows and flowers go together, Keith. I'm just saying it. Shout out the rainbow.
Yeah. Taste the rainbow. And then they also had on the float Richard Petty, the king, waving away. A little bit of the history there and the future of NASCAR. Raja Caruth.
Ah, Raja Caruth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, who recently signed the truck deal.
Yes.
With the team that I announced, but based on lifestyle choices, that's as much as I remember. I remember that they didn't mic it well. I remember that much.
Let's see what else. The award was for most outstanding depiction of national treasures and tradition.
Okay.
Seems like every parade float gets an award these days. I don't know. They have 1,000 of them. So
yeah.
I'd like to see a parade where they steal the pace car.
Let's race the floats.
There you go.
Yeah. Last one that still has the flowers attached wins.
Yeah, let's see those suckers.
There is that compensation, right? Like you can drive super slow and keep all the flowers on, but that's a time thing. But if you get there faster, but you lose flowers, there is some points penalties, but it's only like a second per pound of flowers or something. So
make that turn coming out to Colorado Boulevard on 2 wheels. Let's see how you roll out.
Yeah. Apparently the NASCAR float's a little faster this year. Full-blown cup engine under the hood.
We're going to have to take that to R&D.
Yes. And, I suppose I can show off the photo I showed off on the other channel last night, because he's member of YouTube community. We haven't seen him over here, but Josh Tamberg, he spent most of the month of December in Eastern Tennessee, so he did the track day at Bristol one of the evenings.
Very nice.
And confirmed he did light up the tires coming out in turn 3. That's what he said. He was on 18 degrees of banking, and I think it let loose because it looks a little shiny. I'm thinking the dew was set, and yeah, I can imagine.
Didn't have those tires heated up completely yet.
No, yeah, because you just take your own vehicle out and do a lap around Bristol. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was doing one of the little penny rides or something.
No, I thought that'd be fun. Yeah. Yes.
I wonder if they're going to do that anymore up at Fontana now that they're shrinking it down to half mile. Because they used to do, it
would be really nice, Keith, if they used it for some weekly or at least monthly action, since it'll be a short track, right? Because that really opens up for late models and super late models. And which is there's always been a history of that on the West Coast. The whole Winston West thing was, that was late model racing.
Yep, up there at Irwindale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a nice track. Shame they don't race there anymore.
Shame they don't race more places anymore.
I know.
Period.
But
getting too dang expensive, I guess.
We are getting North Wilkesboro back, so.
Mm-hmm. But at what expense, right?
If you want to go, though.
Yeah, it's cheap prices this year. Cheap prices this year, but after that, whoo.
Oh, still not cheap this year, though. I mean, I was just looking at prices for the Busch Clash, and the cheapest tickets they have are $65 to $250 tickets, just for that. So
good thing they don't know it's a shitty race. Otherwise, nobody would buy a ticket.
Yeah, unless you're going to go see Cypress Hill perform.
Yeah.
Just for that, I don't know.
Right. Right.
And whoever is booking the talent for these shows needs some serious assistance.
Well, I think it would be, I want to say it would be different if there was more of a hip hop presence, right? Like we've seen a lot of rock bands advertise on cars, advertising albums. We've seen country artists. Haven't seen a lot of hip hop.
No.
And for whatever reason, and I don't know what the crossover demographic is compared to, let's say, country music fans that also follow NASCAR as opposed to hip hop fans that also follow NASCAR. And sure, there's a lot of us that will dig some hip hop as well as country or rock or what have you, but we're talking like my favorite kind of music is hip hop, and I'm also a NASCAR fan.
Right. I mean, what are we going to do? Call up Trackhouse again?
Right.
No.
Can we get someone like, who's got money that isn't crazy? Oh, what's his name? Not Kanye, the other one that's uber rich.
Oh.
One's married to like Beyonce. Jay-Z,
yeah.
Jay-Z could afford a NASCAR team. I'm sure he's got $20 million he could lose.
Yep.
Come on, Jay-Z. Come on. Well, P. Diddy.
He was showing up last year, though. So.
P. Diddy, he's got a bunch of companies. He could have advertise his companies on the car. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just trying to think. MGK. Yeah, he doesn't know if he's hip hop, rock. He doesn't know what he wants to be anymore.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got the 50 car, which is the money team.
Right. Which is they are hemorrhaging the money team because their main sponsor said, we can't pay for the rest of this year and none of next year. I'm like, excuse me?
Because unless we actually place decently at Daytona.
Yeah, that's it. Because they only run part-time anyways.
Right.
Which makes you wonder, like, how much... Again, it was like a crypto-y type company. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you expect? That's why you go with an established Fortune 500 company.
Right.
They're established.
Wasn't Bitcoin once upon a time a minor sponsor in one of the cars?
There was a few crypto cars out there from time to time. A lot of it was one-offs, but...
Yeah. But they're usually by the lower tier teams, too, as well. So.
Yep. Well, they see an opportunity because the legitimate team won't necessarily, and they cost more, right? Because a smaller team will take less, and you're not going to pay all up front and just do payments? Sure, we can do that. Whereas the big team's like, you want sponsors for the year? At least quarterly payments, if not half up front and then quarterly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Who else is big on gotten their sponsors all covered? I believe Josh Berry is covered for the season in the Xfinity. I think he got everything, all of his bases covered.
Yep.
And
watch for him for the title this year. I think. I think he's the odds-on favorite in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I think Algar, he's at his point. Like, I don't know. I think Barry's just a little bit hungrier for it.
Yeah. Algar's at the precipice, though. He's there. He's close, but
yeah, we like him.
I truly think,
yeah. There's a reason he's not driving in Cup full time.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 4A ball
had
player.
That chance. Yeah, he had that chance already.
Exactly.
And he had decent equipment then too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Oh, congratulations to Kyle Larson and his wife Caitlin on having another child.
Yep. Oh, and congratulations, Bubba Wallace got married.
And Bubba Wallace got married on New Year's Eve. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there one other thing I'm trying to remember? Maybe save that for the next couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah.
Let's hope there's something happens between now and then. Otherwise, I can only say welcome back, Doug, so many times.
He's hitting Daytona too, isn't he?
No. Doug had to get a bunch of work done on his truck, so he's not going anywhere now.
That stinks.
Yeah, apparently his truck wanted parts to work or something. I don't know.
His truck wanted parts more than he wanted Daytona.
Yeah, it was something about cooling the engine, heating him. So radiator and heater core.
Nice.
Punta Cana. Well, good thing, Doug. I don't know if you've seen what's going on. A lot of people were stranded there until recently. The main airline out of there just said, nope, we're not flying much.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the same airline said, we're not flying to Saskatchewan until February. What's up with that? With no reason. Nope, we're not going to this province for an entire month.
Was that rainbow-colored airline?
Sunwing. Did I say that out loud?
Oh, Sunwing? No. Oh, yeah. Sunwing. I thought it was more of an azimuth, like northeast or.
Oh, it got to the point, Keith, where most of the travelers, because resorts book rooms consistently, so when the flights were canceled for a week,
mm-hmm.
Every day for a week, the travelers were all staying in the lobby of the hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You were on Sunwing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, no, but I had a situation that we had to deal with while we went to Punta Cana one year for Thanksgiving.
I think I went myself once.
And
that's where I went.
We wanted it to be the perfect, vacation, but it ended up being anything but. So, lesson learned. So, and it was too late for us to skip down to Cabo. So, oh well, we'll grow from there.
Thanks for the link, Terry, for those who want further reading. So, I think on that, we should probably wrap things up. Wow, we went 43 minutes. Yeah. That's impressive.
No, 15 minutes longer than you thought we would.
Right? Yep, that's how it works. We're professionals and stuff, eh? So, if you're new, please subscribe, especially if you've watched this long. And howdy to those watching in replay. Again, if you're watching this long.
Yes.
Leave a comment, all that. And thumbs ups all around. We like thumbs ups. They help algorithms or some digitals. I don't know. Probably has to do with fuel injection. That's my guess. Digital. I don't know. Not my department. So thanks, Keith, for stepping in for Doug, because apparently, Doug's in the chat, but not here because he's not at home.
Well, that's what happens when Grayson starts to have fun. So,
yeah. Yes, Doug, you have to subscribe and hit the thumbs up.
Yes. And don't forget to share.
Yes. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another off-season edition. Talking about much of the same things we talked about tonight. Recapping the things discussed tonight. Unless something new happens.
Which will probably happen. People, this is when silly season starts to shake out and everybody finds out who the sponsors are and stuff. So.
Everything all good, just brushing, no MCL damage. Excellent.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Good. Yeah. So there we are. He's been Keith. I've been Ben. You've been you. And
You good?
maybe, just maybe, he won't burn his fingers this week. Probably not.
Probably not. No.
I guess. See you, Marcus.